the Atlantic slave trade, forced migration and the transformation of the Atlantic world. Continuing our series on invasion, occupation, cultural domination, and cultural evolution, we move into the early modern Atlantic world. As European empires expanded into the Americas, they demanded massive amounts of labor. That demand reshaped Africa, Europe, and the Americas through the Atlantic slave trade. This was not ordinary migration. It was forced movement on a global scale. The cause was simple: labor demand in the Americas. European colonies in the Americas expanded plantation agriculture. Colonists sought labor for crops such as sugar, tobacco, and cotton. Indigenous populations had declined sharply in many regions due to disease and conquest. European powers turned increasingly toward West and Central Africa for enslaved labor. Economic demand drove the system. The first effect was forced migration across the Atlantic. Millions of Africans were captured, sold, and transported across the Atlantic Ocean. This journey, known as the Middle Passage, was marked by extreme overcrowding, disease, violence, and high death rates. Families and communities were permanently separated. Another effect was the transformation of African societies. The slave trade reshaped African regions. Some states gained wealth through participation in the trade, while warfare increased in certain areas. Population loss weakened many communities. External demand intensified internal instability. In the Americas, the growth of plantation economies was fueled by enslaved labor. European empires accumulated enormous wealth through agricultural exports, trade networks, and colonial production systems. The Atlantic economy became deeply interconnected. Amidst this, cultural survival and blending occurred. Enslaved Africans carried languages, beliefs, music, agricultural knowledge, and traditions across the Atlantic. Despite oppression, African cultural practices survived, and new blended cultures developed. Resistance continued in many forms. Cultural identity endured under extreme conditions. The cultural evolution of the Atlantic slave trade created lasting global consequences. Racial hierarchies developed, diaspora communities formed, and economic inequalities expanded. Its effects continued long after slavery itself ended. For AP World students, this case is essential. The pattern is clear. Economic demand leads to forced migration, which leads to labor exploitation, resulting in cultural transformation and long-term global impact.